So today's video is going to be a little bit different than you guys are used to. Now, Clore.AI actually reached out to a couple of us and wanted us to go over their brand new platform called Clore Fleet. Now, this is a program where GPU miners as a whole can take their octominers. You guys can continue to mine and have the option for your rig to be rented out to the AI platform, which is really neat. And I'm a total noob when it comes to this. I don't know much about it. So we're going to get a quick how-to guide and kind of a why should we do this or even get into this from my man, Mr. Geek of all trades. So without further ado, let's dive into it. And if you guys have any questions in the end, please just leave it in the comments below and I'll have him answer it as best we can. Mr. Geek of all trades, thanks for joining us today. We're going to be going over again this Clore.AI Fleet program here. And I know nothing. So please tell us what you've noticed and how do we do this?
So it's easier than it looks. Clore has obviously their mining side of it, but then they've got their AI marketplace, kind of like Vast.ai, and that's probably the most comparable other AI platform I could compare this to. Like
Perfect.
less than Flux or anywhere else, right?
Yeah, I want to pick
So
your brain on that towards like after we get through the how-to. I want you kind of to tell me the differences, I guess, and like why we should do this versus the others. And just because,
sure.
again, I don't know anything about AI. I've never dipped my toes into it, but I've seen 1,000 videos. I just don't know which platform to choose, you know?
For sure. And I'm excited about this platform. Let me show you why. So this is their main page, Clore.AI.
Okay.
And if you don't have an account, just go in and create an account. This is going to be your dashboard after you log in and create your account and stuff like that. You're just going to have some general stats and whatnot here. The piece that they have, so you can go in and see all the servers that you have. And right now I've just got 2 servers set up. This one, Goat 1, is like a traditional Clore marketplace machine. It has nothing to do with Hive OS. So
Okay.
it's a Ubuntu Linux machine that's a standalone workstation. It's got a 3060 in it, or no, this one's a 1660 Ti. It's got a standalone GPU on it on a dedicated X16 slot. Like this is made for AI.
Kind of like you would do Vast Rig.
Exactly like you
Okay.
would do Vast. Exactly. You go
Perfect.
in and you run bash scripts and whatnot to put the Docker containers or Docker management onto the machine, and then you manage it all through their dashboard. The other server I have here.
So when you say server, obviously, just for people that don't know, it's just a normal rig, like a motherboard, GPU, CPU, RAM,
Yep,
SSD, whatever.
they're calling it servers. It can
Right.
be, I mean, it could be an Octominer. It could be an
Exactly.
X12 if you really wanted it to be. This one is on, it's like a test bench rig that I've got,
Okay.
and it's running a 3060, and I have 128 gigs of RAM, 1 terabyte SSD. Like it's kind of beefed up more than you would need for mining, but getting in to set this up is pretty simple. So if we were to set up a whole new server, well, first let's jump into Hive. So this is that Soundwave machine that I've got running on Hive that is also right here. So I went through and did everything and set it all up, which I'll show you how we do that. But you can see it's got 128 gigs of RAM and terabyte SSD, and it's mining at the same time. Right now I'm mining Clore.
Okay.
So if we go back to Starscream, which is also mining Clore right now, here's how we can set this up to kind of, it's not really dual mining. It's AI or it's Docker when it's not mining crypto. So if we come into our servers, come to this button, mass onboard, the 2 options here are Hive OS and Ubuntu. And right now they don't have this set up for Ubuntu. So if you click this, it's going to say coming soon. So we go to Hive OS, and then we've got 2 pricing models. Static price. So if we always want to make $5 a day per rig, you would go with static price. Mining
Okay.
profitability is the thing I'm excited about. It bases the value on what you're mining in Hive off of the outputs from hashrate.no, right? So if I look at a single 3060 as of right now, it'll say Aleo. I'm not going to get into Aleo, but it'll say,
Right.
whatever coin. I mean, I was on Clore, right? So let's show I'm making 30 cents a day, 34 cents a day in revenue. So if we want to make 3 times that, so that's what, 90 cents a day
Oh, so that's the okay. So it's a multiplier of what you would make per day. Okay.
of the value, yep, of the revenue of whatever you're mining. So if I
Okay.
switch this to something that's much more profitable, I shy away from Aleo because right now Hive doesn't support Aleo, as I understand it. You have to create a custom miner. and it's kind of a pain in the ass to mine Aleo and do the Clore.AI thing, because the Clore.AI is its own custom miner. We'll
You
get
can
into
only
that a
have
little bit
one
later.
custom miner in a flight sheet, if I'm not mistaken. That's the issue
Exactly.
there. Okay.
Exactly. All right, let's say Zano, right?
Mhm.
Making 40 cents a day. So it'd be $1.20 if I did 3 times that in the multiplier, right?
Okay.
And then the maximum rental time, 12 hours, 24 hours, you could put it for a month, you could put it for a week,
Oh,
whatever.
okay. You just have to put the hour amount.
Put the hour amount. Yep.
Okay.
So
Gotcha.
then there's these three little check boxes here. Override offer specifics on each machine reboot or change of configuration. They should really reword this. What this comes down to is you can't make changes to your multiplier numbers within the dashboard, within the Clore platform, if this box isn't checked. So the second box is use overclocking and power limits from Hive OS for orders by default.
Okay.
Think about this. If you have your machine geared towards AI, which means it's not on these like PCIe X1 risers,
Mhm.
it's not, using a Celeron process. It's a mining machine. It's dedicated, it's made for mining.
Mhm.
Somebody's going to rent your machine for mining more likely than not, because you can't run machine learning, you can't do like AI inferencing on that type of equipment. It doesn't work that way. Putting your overclocks in, if you don't have this checked, somebody rents your machine, they're going to run it balls out,
Oh yeah.
full blast, and in, somebody's case where you've got, I mean, like you used to have, you had a pretty fine tune in your basement so
Mhm.
that you weren't popping breakers, right?
Right. Had to,
Well,
yeah.
if you got 10 machines on this thing on a single circuit,
Mhm.
and you got to fine tune a certain way, and you don't check this box and they go balls out, you're going to be blowing circuits. And then the last piece here, keep Clore.AI running even when miner is disabled. And it says, please read article. So what it essentially says is kind of like the custom miner, right? Where you have to have a custom miner for Aleo and a custom miner for Clore.AI. This will allow you to run it and then remove that custom miner and mine Aleo. So this keeps mining in the background, kind of thing. I don't know how they do it. Whatever weird voodoo magic they have going on, it continues to run the marketplace, even though it's not set as a miner within Hive OS. This machine, I'm gonna keep the overclock on. I'm pretty much gonna check all of these boxes. All right,
Okay.
so we've got all our boxes checked. Now we're gonna take these two icons down here, and I want to express this. This piece here where it says auth token, don't show this to anybody. Don't show this to, on stream if you're going to do videos or anything like this. Don't show it to anybody, because they can take this and essentially hijack your Hive OS instance and your Linux instance and put their own wallets on it and steal your shit.
So that's
So
why this is blurred out in this video.
yes.
just so you guys know, it's a little blurry. I'll blur out like the middle block of it, but you can see the
Yep.
gist of it. It's just a bunch of letters and numbers and everything
It's
else.
just
It's
a big random string of characters that makes sense on their back end.
right.
So in Hive OS, we would come over and create a new flight sheet. This piece here where it says Hive OS flight sheet, we just hit copy, come back into flight sheet and paste from clipboard and allow. There we go. Now, when you add a wallet, this is where the auth token comes in. So the auth token on the Clore dashboard is going to be the wallet address in Hive, and then name it whatever you want, something that you remember.
Right.
Because
Right.
I've got a bunch of these out there now, the Clore hosting, and
Oh yeah,
it
if you
it
have multiple rigs, you're gonna need to name them. Like I would just be like Clore 1, Clore 2, Clore 3. I would just make it like easy so I would know which rig's what.
and then all this is auto filled out under the miner config, so you don't really need to do anything there.
Okay.
And then just add whatever you want to mine. So if we want to mine, I don't know, let's look at Dynex or Clore or whatever,
Okay.
create flight sheet. And
So
then you'll just go back to your rig and enable the flight sheet.
I mean, obviously inside the flight sheet, you still tune your cards and all that stuff like you normally would in the settings or
Yeah.
whatever.
Yeah. However you want to go through and do that. Right.
Perfect. All right, so it's pretty simple actually to
It
get the
is.
flight
And
sheet set up.
I've had a couple of issues come up, and I'm wondering if it's going to do it now. I kind of hope it does for the video. So this is the flight sheet we just created, right? With
Mhm.
Dynex. Cool. That works. Obviously, when loading a new flight sheet, it does take a little bit to go through
Right.
and start being recognized. But We can see I'm on an old miner, an old edition. There's upgrades here, and my Hive OS driver is not the most recent. If you're using AI, if your rig is dedicated to AI, you're gonna want to be on the latest NVIDIA driver because it's gonna offer the latest CUDA uh, workload essentially for your AI server, which will, depending on what the people rent it for, that's something that they're going to be looking for. So if you've got an open air rig, it probably isn't as big of a deal. Somebody on Clore is going to rent your machine to do what you're doing, but on a coin they want to use, right? Maybe they don't have the capital to invest in hardware like we did. You know,
Right.
they're not psychopaths that spend all of their time and money on GPUs like we are.
See
So
if we can get
let's
this
do
thing to
a
start
Hive
mining.
shell and see, because this was just, it was just mining and then it stopped. All right. So it didn't mess up this time. What happened in the past was you do a Hive shell and you go in and start looking at your miner and seeing what's going on.
Hmm.
This thing was like stuck in a loop, in a boot loop. And the way I fixed that was running a Hive replace command. Just click that. It took a couple minutes, reset itself, and then it started doing this, where it's downloading essentially the dependencies and all the things to run the Clore side of it in the
Okay.
custom miner. So that's what it's doing here. When
Oh,
this completes, we'll be able to see it in our list of servers right underneath our sound wave. We should get Starscream to pop up.
so the Hive replace, you just clicked on it as it was. You didn't have to choose any specific Hive replace. Okay.
Nope, I think it just replaced the existing instance that was on there.
Okay.
All right, so it shows Clore system running. Let's check. Let's check the servers now and do a refresh here.
Oh, there we go. At least it's mining now.
Yeah,
So the Clore thing always says NA if it's not being used. Oh, there it
there
is.
we are.
Nice.
So we were looking at this, and as the machine got rented, this all just stayed the same, and it just stopped hashing. So that was something else we mentioned to him
Oh,
is,
okay.
hey, maybe you should have some type of alert or pop up or notification on the Hive side, because me, if I jump in here and it's not hashing, I'm like, oh my gosh, what the heck is going on? What did I break now? And I start diving into it. Whereas you can see over here, if it were rented, it would show rented. It will show nothing. It'll
Oh,
just be
like the
blank.
whole thing says nothing.
The whole thing, yeah. So
Oh,
the
okay. So
all
that's
this
confusing.
is
Yeah, I got
blanked
you.
out. The hash rate's blanked out. All the, I mean, this all stays here, but it looks like, because it's not hashing anymore, the GPU is now focused on whatever Docker container
Yeah,
that Core is running on your
right.
machine.
So just
So
go
it's
to the
not
Clore
doing
AI.
anything.
Yeah, so just go to the Clore AI dashboard and you'll see what's going on there.
Exactly,
I got you.
exactly. You can
Okay.
jump in here, and so this is the server we just built. We
Hmm.
just stood up, and we can see it's still in the startup phase. So this will actually go to, say, I think running or something like that, or working properly
Okay.
is going to be the status when it's up and completely running, done installing, done linking, and all of that.
So how long did it take for that to start up? Do you know? Is it a while or is it like just
To go from startup to
to
running,
yeah.
a couple minutes,
Oh,
not
okay. So
not
it's
long
not
at all.
like
Maybe
okay, it's not like
maybe 10 minutes
hours.
at
Okay.
the, yeah, it depends on the machine. So this is where you can click it to make it available to rent. And I think all of mine I've just got unavailable right now. I know that one I do. Maybe this one I've got it available and nobody wants it because I made it too expensive. Yeah.
Yeah, that's how it goes, right? That's all right.
Hey, it's mining, and that's the point. You make it, and it's not costing you anything extra to do this.
Right.
But if somebody really wants, you got a rig of 63090s,
Hmm.
and somebody wants to rent that for a week to mine Zealous or something, great, go for it. I'm going to charge you more than I'm making mining, whatever shitcoin I want to mine at the time, right?
Yeah.
That's, it just makes sense to do it that way. I love how
It
this
does
is
make
set up.
sense. It's a nice option to have the choice to, do both, I guess. But so my question though is when it comes to people renting the rigs, right? So like you
Mhm.
were saying before, they can tell if it's an AI rig or if it's a mining rig. Like, can you kind of get into that and explain that? Like, can they see how many GPUs they're renting? Can they see
Yep.
pretty much everything flat out, how like what they're renting and what the system's about?
So here's the marketplace.
Okay.
Again, make an account if you want to rent on the Clore side, and
Okay.
then you can pick a specific GPU if you want to use, or multiple GPUs.
Oh, okay. So you can pick a full blown mining rig just to mine coins
Mhm.
or
Yep.
a single card. That
So
like
if I
a
want
AI rig.
3090s, however many GPUs I want it to say, come on, yeah, up to
16.
16, however
Holy
much
shit.
RAM, and then reliability. So depending on how your machine performs on their network,
Uh-huh.
if you have a lot of downtime or your internet is crap or, whatever metrics they have in place, it can change your reliability score. So if you want something that's, 99% uptime, you can narrow it down here. So a single 3090
Oh,
with 99, three nines on an Epic with 32 gigs of RAM and a 400 gig hard drive with a gigabit internet speeds, going to cost you $3 a day.
right. So up at the top, it's kind of small in the video. So it says max duration above the day, like the price or whatever, like per day. So the
Yes.
top one's rented. You can only rent it for 7 days max, and then the one below that's 3 days max, and the one below that's 1 day. Well, I guess my question is like, why would say like as a person, if I was gonna set up this whole Clore thing, right? If I wanted to set up a rig, why would you put only renting for 1 day or 7 days? Because you're the person that determines how long somebody can rent your machine, right?
Yep.
So
So
why
if you
would you
put
only
on
do
there
like a day
that,
or three or whatever?
yep, if I want to set this for 30 days,
Hmm.
my price is static. I can't change it. Somebody rents it, they're on it for 30 days, and all of a
Oh, so
sudden something
oh,
pumps and it's more valuable to me to jump back to mining. Well, I can't on that machine because it's rented.
I got
So
you.
you either need to make sure that your multiplier is up there high enough that it makes sense to do it that way in the what if scenario,
Right.
or however you want to run it. If you want it to only be there, max duration of a day or 5 days or something like that, then you can go back in and make those changes after a week. Say, okay, well, that wasn't enough money for me. Let's up it to 2.5 times or 3.5 times or whatever.
That makes more sense. Okay, now I understand. So like, yeah, you just can't change the price. All right. So now on like just looking back at that page real quick, the marketplace, the spot where it says what's it called down at the bottom, like it shows the PCIe lanes, like the 3.0 on the left underneath the
Mhm.
cards and the RAM and all that stuff. Now looking at like say go down to the bottom, there was a 4 card rig down there. So like how is that? So that whole rig right there is an AI rig,
No, that's a
or is
mining rig.
that's just a normal mining rig? So how
Because
do
those
you tell
are
the difference? Can you kind of explain that a little, just so, because I'm a complete noob when it comes to this stuff. So
so the X16
oh,
lanes.
okay, I didn't even see the, oh, that's okay, I didn't even notice the X1. I got you. Okay.
Yep. So if you got more lanes, allows for more bandwidth
Mm,
and compute power to fully
gotcha.
utilize what's in that PCI slot.
The 7 card 3090 rig, those are all X16s.
That's what it shows. It's on an Epic motherboard.
Holy
The
shit.
Epic 7763, I think is a fourth generation Epic.
Damn.
64 cores, 128 threads. They've got 2 gigabit, 2.5 gigabit Ethernet or networking, CUDA 12.2, about a terabyte.
Holy
But
shit. All right, well, I mean, I guess that's pretty easy overall to like get kind of set up in this. So it's kind of neat. I kind of might dip my toes into it. Just even with the mining rig. I mean, I don't care if somebody rents my mining rig if they want to pay more for it. Why not? More than
yeah,
I would get anyways. It's nice to have the option. You can mine this and make this amount every day, or you could, if somebody wants to potentially rent it and make a little bit more, why the hell not? As long as you have the overclock set, like you said, make sure you check those right boxes and all
exactly.
that. Now,
Exactly.
what's the difference between this and like Vast? Say, I know you messed with Vast. I know you messed with Flux on the like before it was actually like fully launched.
Yeah.
What are the differences, and why would you choose this over another? I guess.
Before I dive into that, one thing I wanted to mention, because I made this mistake when I started playing with this,
Okay.
because every other platform I've done, they charge by the hour. So you're gonna, you say 13 cents an hour or 5 cents an hour or 30 cents an hour, whatever. Like in Vast, I think Salad's the same way. Flux was the same way. So when you're setting your price, this is per day, not per hour. So when I put it at
Oh.
20 cents a day, or I thought it was at 20 cents an
Oh.
hour, I was charging 20 cents a day
Oh
and
no.
immediately got rented.
Well,
So
yeah, yeah, that's a swift kick.
yeah.
Jeez, that
So
sucks. Okay, so that's like a no pun intended, but vast difference there with this whole this whole thing. All right, so it's daily on Clore and hourly on Vast and
Yep.
any other platform you've used before. Okay,
Yep, for sure.
interesting. So now, what's the difference? Like, why would you use this, I guess, over something like Vast or something like Flux? Like, is there any advantages, disadvantages? What do you see?
So one thing I really like about Clore over Vast is this dashboard. You can manage everything from here. You don't have to go into the Ubuntu machine, and this integrates with Hive. Whereas Vast is just set up for, I say AI, but it really Vast and Clore and I think Salad are all distributed Docker platforms. So anything you can run in Docker, whether it's like PyTorch or which is an AI development app, or it's used heavily for AI development, or a miner, you run it as a Docker container.
Okay.
Whereas Flux, same kind of thing, but it uses Kubernetes, which gives them more flexibility. It's a little more elastic, and that's where they've been promoting the grouping or the teaming, where my machines and your machines and Hawk's
Right.
machines and King's machines can all get together
Mhm.
and split a job and then split the profits of those jobs, kind of like a pool.
That's kind of neat. Okay.
Docker can't really do that natively, so that's one advantage of Flux. But the big positive here is managing everything in the dashboard and integrating into Hive.
That's not.
So
It's
if you,
nice. Yeah.
it's really nice for all of these people that are just mining. You might as well run this and set a 2x or a 3x on whatever you're mining,
You have nothing to
and then just let it
lose.
ride.
You have nothing to lose.
Another benefit on Clore over Vast, at least, they pay in crypto. Vast, you got to use Stripe or PayPal.
Ooh.
Um, Salad, you get paid in like Amazon gift cards or something. I don't know. I haven't used Salad, but I heard
Oh, I
if
heard
you,
that. Yeah, there was some.
yeah,
Yeah, I heard some bullshit about that. You know, them
something with that.
those cockroaches on Twitter like to
I
make it a
don't.
big
Yeah,
deal.
yeah. I don't think it's a scam. I just think that's
Right.
like how they were set up. Especially they were geared towards gamers at start,
Right.
and it's like gamers don't. I don't know. Anyway,
Yeah.
so this you can get paid in Clore or Bitcoin,
Ooh, that's
and that's it.
nice.
So
Okay, that's a plus.
yeah,
Sweet. Now, that's what I was going to ask you. I remember the Vast AI. Can you now when the machine's not rented, is that shit just sitting there, or is it
yes.
mining?
On Vast,
Yeah,
so you can run custom scripts to mine in the background,
but you
kind of
have
like what
the
it's
the
doing
keyword there is
here.
custom. You have to. Is it
Yes,
hard to do, or is it
it
like
is.
simple?
It is a little bit. It's not as simple as this. I'll put it that way.
Okay.
This is really straightforward. The explainers and guides that they have are work really well, and they're pretty straightforward.
Okay.
All of the guides that I saw to do this on Vast, and I wasn't focused on mining in the background on Vast, so I didn't look too deep into it. But they were all like, mining Ethereum using ETH miner on Etherscan and all of this shit from like years and years
Yeah,
ago.
yeah,
They
like that
never
was
really
3 years
updated their
ago.
documentation. Yeah.
Wow. Okay. All right. Well, that makes sense. Like, I mean, that's yeah, a clear advantage because your machine's not just gonna be sitting there powered on and not doing anything, literally just wasting power.
Yeah.
Um, and now I guess they have a pretty decent roadmap, right, coming up with this with Clore,
They
which makes it
do.
quite interesting.
They do. Some of the things that stuck out to me, like they have I don't really understand it. They have a proof of holdings now where like you can put a bunch of Clore in there and people can rent your Clore to use to get discounts when renting jobs on Clore.AI. I don't know. It's really confusing to
What?
me. I don't know. I've still got to look into that more. I don't get it,
That's for
but
another day.
it's got to have a use case for something.
Right.
But one of the things that they are introducing is proof of stake. So Clore will be
Oh.
a proof of work and proof of stake coin. So I'm
Oh.
wondering if this is kind of a step in that direction, the renting of Clores, so you can like essentially stake it and then get paid based on somebody renting your Clore. I don't know.
Interesting.
It is
That's
different.
really neat, actually. And that, I mean, that's another plus, another way for us to make something out of it. That's
Mhm.
good.
They're also adding storage layer on Clore AI, so you'll be able to rent cloud storage, kind of like a Dropbox or like OneDrive or Google Drive or something,
Oh, that's cool.
directly from the Clore dashboard. And I think they're going to do a VPN, like rent your internet. I'm not a fan of that. I don't
Yeah,
want
that's
people
weird.
using my bandwidth because that can get real dicey really quick.
Wasn't there something else? Man, I feel like King mentioned that there was something that was doing that. I don't remember what
There's
it
a
was.
couple of those out there that are running it. Yeah.
He was saying it wasn't, it was really bad. I don't
Yeah.
remember what it was off the top of my head, but I think it was on an SNL. We were all together. He started talking about that rented bandwidth, and it was just, yeah, well, it didn't sound great.
It was like a decentralized VPN, which essentially
Mm,
is what they're saying here. Clore VPN, allowing Clore hosting providers to lease their network as
mm.
a VPN service with payments in Clore only. I don't like that. I don't want to be an exit node for a Tor network somewhere, out in the
Oh,
world. I don't
yeah.
want anything to do with that. So my
That's the
internet's
dark
my
web.
internet. You
That's the
can
dark web for
deal
anybody
with
that doesn't know.
Comcast yourself. Yeah. No,
Right.
thank you.
Yeah, no thanks. But I mean,
Um,
that's overall, at least they're doing stuff. They have things lined up, ready to go, and I mean, they've been progressing since they actually came out. I mean, so
mhm.
it's awesome. I like this. This is a really neat option for miners. So if you guys are interested in doing this, obviously just go to, what is it, Clore AI? Just is
Just
Clore.AI? Is that what it is?
Clore.ai
Okay,
and create the account there. Yeah,
gotcha. Nice. Man, Geek of all trades, dude, you're awesome. Thank you so much for joining us today. This is definitely opened my eyes on this. So thank
for
you.
sure.
So that's going to do it. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. I know it was kind of a long one, but I'm super interested to know what you guys think about this whole Clore Fleet thing. I think it's pretty cool that it's integrated with Hive OS and that you don't really need crazy equipment to do it if you're already into crypto mining. You literally just have the option to make more money per day if you change that multiplier on what you make. It's just kind of a cool option for us to have anyways, but I might give it a shot at some point as soon as I get my rigs plugged back in. I took them off for the time being just because nothing's really too profitable and nothing really piques my interest to mine, but this is a good option for some of you guys that are still mining. So either way, hopefully you guys have a good one. I'll catch you guys on the next one. Peace out.